Okay, I toyed with just doing the base of this and then showing you how to add this part here in the center, and then going about doing the other stuff. But the more I think about it, I'm going to show you the whole thing on this one. So let's just look at some numbers here. The base from A to B is 6. The B to C up there is 6.5, so it's a ½ an inch thicker or taller. A to D across the front there is 9.75. D to E, so right there the base thickness is, or the thickness of the base and the back is going to be 1. C to F, right, so that's that thickness there. C to F is also 1 inch, right, so those are thick, same thickness. G, right there, tells us there is a diameter hole that is 0.75, and there's 2 of them, so there's 2 holes right there. Then on the back here, so that's E to H, that's from there to there is where that distance is, 2.5. F to L is this one right here, and that means that this line right here is off the edge, 1.12. L to O is another 2 inches over that way. F to M, so from this line down to this line is 1.5. M to N is 2.5 to there. Right, so that's going to be the same on that side. Then we're going to look at whatever is going on here. P, that thickness of that is 1.12. K, those are the holes that are going through there, a diameter of 0.5, and there are 8 of them, so we'll use the hole command to do this. Now, I'm going to tell you, and if you want to skip ahead, you can. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have you pause the video because the videos are too long to go through this. I'm going to create this thing right here, that L, and I'm going to do it on the plane and symmetrically go one way or the other. All right, and that way we'll be able to do this middle part here to get that in there. So I'm going to start with the L, extrude it symmetrically, and then I'm going to put this part in, and I'll show you. I'll do the video for that part. All right, you should pause it now and make the L and extrude it symmetrically. Hey, you ready? I'm going to show you real quick. I created the sketch, my sketch when I did this. I'm going to edit that sketch. I created the sketch on the right plane, but I turned it around backwards and did it on the back side. And that's important to do that way because I'm going to edit that sketch and show you. I do it this way, so this ends up being my front view. That leaves me with less headaches, although it can be changed later on, so that's okay. And then I extruded it out 9.75, so it goes in both directions. Okay, so that gives us the opportunity at this point to use this the right plane to create a new sketch right there, right? And in that plane, I can right click on this and I can view normal to, and I should be able to draw a line that goes from this endpoint here to that endpoint right there. Right, so I got that down there. I should be able to, now I want to do this is I want to make that endpoint work onto that endpoint, and I definitely want to do the same thing down here, coincident constraint between here and here, and that should make it black. Right, so now I should have a thing that I should be able to extrude right in here. So it didn't quite work the way I thought it would, but that's okay. So I'm going to right click on my sketch. I'm going to exit out of that. I'll right click on my sketch. I'm going to edit that sketch. And from that plane, I'm going to go in here and I'll draw this that goes back to there. And this one comes up to here. So it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, and that's okay. On the plane that I'm on, I'm going to do a coincident constraint between that endpoint and that endpoint right there, and it pops it in there. So now I got my triangle complete. It's ready to be extruded, so I can do that. And it's symmetric, and it was 1.12. 1.12, enter. That's my thickness, and it's on there. So now I can go back in here and look at these two, create a new sketch on that plane right there, and I'm going to put a dot in here and a dot in here, and then I'll start looking at those dimensions. So J to E on that. So from here back to, oops, I don't want to select that exact thing. So I'm going to go from this line to that right there. J to E. E to J was 2.5. All right. And then from here over to here, so that was E to H or A to E. So that's 2. Right. So that's 2. So now I'm going to do a horizontal constraint and say I want to horizontally constrain those two, so that puts that in the right spot. So it's the same as the 2.5, but I want to do one from the edge here over to here, and that is also 2. All right, so I've got those two in place. So then I'm going to finish that sketch, and I'm going to move to, oops, I want to move it this way. New sketch on this plane, right here. View normal to that plane. This one had the it said that there was 0.5 holes and there was 8 of them. So there's one here, 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 and one here. So I'm going to do some horizontal constraining. I'm going to say those two go together. I'm going to say that those two go together. I'm going to say that these two go together. Horizontally constrain these two together, and then these two together. I'm going to vertically constrain these two, these two, and then these two. So now I've got those all. Now I just start putting in dimensions. So my dimensions there from, let's say, F to L, from here over to here was 1.12. And then from between the two, L to O, was 2. And then, let's see, can I move this one over here? And I'm going to move this one over here. So you can just grab them and move them if you need to. So I'll do the same from here to here. Was 1.12. This one from here to here was 2. All right, get that right. Now I'm ready to put a dimension on that goes from here to here. Now I should have horizontally constrained those. So F to M should change all 4 of them across the top. And F to M was 1.5. So they all should come down together. And then the distance between M and N was 2.5. So from here to here should be 2.5. So now I've got all those in place. All right. So I've got all my center points ready to roll. I got 2 down here and 8 up here. So I'm going to do the hole, and I'm going to start just by doing just a regular old simple hole. We'll switch this to a 1/2 inch hole. They go through all, and I'm going to click there, 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 and all 8 of those places right there, and click that. Then I'm going to do another one, do the other holes here. The ones going down through here, G, was 0.75, so I can change this to a 3/4 inch hole, 0.75, and it's all the same there, so they're just a little bit bigger. And they go through the base of it. Finish that sketch, double click it just to make sure it gets centered, right click, and we're going to start making a drawing. I'm going to click that there and go with my standard views. And we'll move forward. Now this did take a little bit longer, but make sure you you're getting it right. So I'll move that view up there. Okay, so now this is the part where it gets kind of tricky. We need to make sure we get everything done correctly. All right, so let's start by going over here. I'm going to make the thickness of that one and this one. You would put those there in that view, and you do that because that is where that view, that's dominant. You can tell exactly what's going on where, the thickness of that. You can't tell exactly, I mean, you can tell, but this is telling us that there's a thickness here. Now this part's a little different because of the angle of that, where you would do that, and you can choose to put that on one of these up here, either one, because of the way it's laid out. And that's probably fair to do that way. So now we've got the angle. We know where the ends of that angle is, and R, where the ends are, and we know where the corners are. We know the overall height and the overall depth now, and I'm going to go ahead and add this one right here so we can add an overall length. So we've got a length. We know the height of it. We know the depth of it. We know what this whole base part of it's done. So now, and we know what the angle is. So now this is all about those holes now at this point. So I'm going to click my center point from here to here, and I'm going to put this one in place. I'm going to just drop that right there. I'm going to pick the same 2 places right there, except I'm going to move this to the side right there. You could go in here and be crazy and be like, I'm doing this way. You could do that and leave the centers along that way. In this case, those are taken care of except for my hole. I'm going to do the hole call out and throw that there. And I'm going to click on this and make sure that I get that as 2 places. Oops. Places. Why did the cap lock not work? 2 places. All right. So that's 2 places. And we'll go down here and start thinking about this one. I'm going to pick this corner here and go from there to there and get a 1.12. Go between these two right here. Move that up a little higher there. You can do the same thing on the other side if we really wanted to. You don't necessarily need to, but you want to know the truth. It kind of clarifies some things when we do that to make it easy. And then this one you can do on one side, and this one I would only do in one place. I do it here because they're in a straight line. These two right here, I'm going to put that there, and I don't necessarily like that. So I'm going to move that one out a little bit more to about right there. Put that right there. So that leaves us with all those things. All those holes are dimensioned except for adding what that hole actually is right here. And we're going to add that and click this part right here and come down to the bottom and say 8 places. All right. So now we've got the whole thing taken care of here. We'll come down here, double click on this, backspace over that, and we're going to say that this is an angle plate. And we're going to give it a number. That number is 211-6-59. All right, double click my mouse wheel and we'll move on now.